Well, hi folks, we're here Saturday, May 23rd at 1995 Island Highway in Campbell River. Still a bit overcast, weather warm, bit of wind. Just another short one today, and as I always do, we'll have some cool links in the after section. It's some interesting comments from myself that I'm noticing. I watched a discussion with Jack Ma and Leon Musk. Now, Ma is from Alibaba, and Musk, well, everybody knows Leon Musk of Tesla and SpaceX and all that sort of thing. And it was interesting because there was a couple of comments that sort of stood out. Now, Ma made a statement about work and people and said eventually we should get to the point where people work 4 hours a day, 3 days a week. And they spend a lot of other time having fun lives, dancing and blah, 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 blah. And it was interesting to notice Musk's expression. Now here's a guy who works almost round the clock. And he's talking to a guy who figures we should have 4 hour days, 3 days a week, a 12-hour week virtually, and spend the rest of the time dancing and doing our thing. Well, a lot of people in Canada already do that. I haven't really spoken with a lot of them, how they're enjoying it. But another thing that they both agreed on, that 20 years from now, there's going to be a population shortage. A population shortage in younger people. People who are available to work the 4 hours a day, 3 days a week. Of course, Musk didn't agree with that statement. But it's interesting, you could research that, just go to Google and Jack Ma, Leon Musk discussion. And there's a couple of them. There's one where some idiot keeps interrupting to point out what they're saying. He must be a CBC or NBC or CNN, ex-CNN announcer, because he's always trying to tell us what everybody's saying. But you can just get the pure one where just the two of them are talking back and forth, and nobody interrupting, trying to explain what they said. What else is on my mind today? Well, they're telling us we're going to have, inevitably, we're going to have a second wave, and we may have a third wave, maybe a fourth wave, and we may have to get used to this because this wave might just keep coming and coming. And so I'm thinking, is this medical theory, medical modeling? You know, we saw what the fellow in England is modeling, Dr. Ferguson, sort of was way out to lunch. Didn't even follow his own suggestions, and you can research him yourself. He's sort of a twit. But, or is this a political plan? So I think it's, like we were saying in January, really take control, because look after yourself, because it doesn't look like nobody else is going to. And if we're going to be having wave after wave, there's a possibility. Well, we should look after people who have diabetes and high blood pressure, look after the aged, look after people, try to keep them out of harm's way, out of risk. And I don't mean isolate them like we've done with seniors in their homes. I mean isolation. We have people marching because we don't want to have prisoners in isolation cells, and yet we're isolating a vulnerable part of the population with no human contact. It's a disgrace. And we have enough knowledge now to know how you can go and visit your grandmother without bringing, with wearing the proper equipment and what have you, making sure she has the proper equipment on as well. And it's just a bunch of nonsense to say we're going to keep everybody isolated. It's interesting, science and doctors and that, a lot of brilliant people out there, don't get me wrong, but there's just a lot of people who you wonder what the hell they're doing. And talk about conspiracy theories, and I suppose that's what medicine and science is about. It's a theory, it's an idea, and you try to work through it and prove or disprove it and modify it. That's the way things work. But to lock countries down like we did, I think, are totally stupid. Now, if we're going to have these waves keep coming, you got to ask yourself, you're going to stay home? Nobody work? You cannot do that. It's just not realistic. It isn't going to work. We're in a deep enough jam as it is with the 3-4 months that we've shut everything down already. So I think people have to really forget listening to the World Health Organization and their lackeys. I mean, in January they said, do not wear a mask, it doesn't work. And now look at how far they've come. Coming into this morning, I mean, there's all sorts of companies now advertising masks. And just go figure. So have your mask if you're out and about with a lot of people to look after yourself, but you cannot shut the country down blanket like we have. I see even Parliament's going back to work Monday. Is it Monday? I think it's Monday, so it'll be interesting to see how they do. That's another disgrace. Our leaders were in hiding and doing goofy things, no debate. It's not the type of leadership you would think you want in a time of emergency. So we'll see what happens with the second wave. Again, I've got a couple of a few links there to take a look at, see what you think. Some people look at them and other people don't. They're too busy. And I say, what are you doing? You're staying home. Well, we're watching reruns of tennis or something. Okay, whatever. But there's a lot of good information that can knock the rust out of your lock and get your mind going. Front ways or back ways, but at least get it going. Another thing to watch is Hong Kong. You know, I think I mentioned that yesterday. It looks like China's just not giving a shit what anybody else thinks. They're not waiting for the end of the treaty, they're end of the deal. They're moving now. And for all those people who are thinking socialism is such a panacea, such a utopia, you just have to look at China. I mean, that's a socialist country, and run by a bunch of thugs, and who don't really give a damn about people. And the people are all cool, but look what they're put through. Now they're going to get Hong Kong back into the mix. And I don't think anybody's going to do much about it. You might rail and scream. Nobody's going to go to war over Hong Kong. And just a few people, what the hell. Be some sanctions here and there. But that's where we're heading. If we're not careful, if we don't really get our act together. I mean, I look at a lot of young people are figuring socialism is the way to go. And obviously they haven't studied history, they haven't been taught history. If they had, they would sort of look at where all that crap has gone. And I don't know. You can't make people take a look at things. I just do not think that there is no utopia. I think anybody who's been on the planet for more than three years knows that there's no utopia. There's an illusion of that, but talking about illusions, you have a link to a video there about illusions as well. So, anyway, that's about all for now. Take care. Have a good rest of the weekend, and we just might see you tomorrow. Bye for now.